Chapter 3: The Secret of Willpower to Get What You Want. Now, the purpose of this chapter is to tell you and to remind you of the fact that you have this ability to concentrate within your own mind. Now, if you think about what you want, how much time do you actually spend thinking about it with concentrated effort? Now, what I mean by that is that most people can think about what they want in life, but usually it just happens randomly or sporadically. It's like one moment they think about it and the next moment they're thinking about something negative. Now, this is where your willpower comes in. Through your willpower, you're able to focus on exactly what you want. So, in many people's lives, their willpower isn't developed enough in order to have that sort of intensity when they're concentrating on something. And that is what this chapter is going to remind you about, and also on how you can develop that sort of concentration that will cause you to stay focused on what you want. Because that is the real trick here. We want our minds aimed in exactly what we want and not on any contradicting ideas. Now, when I talk about willpower, you might as well call it concentration. This is an enormous important mental faculty that we need to develop. It will make it easier to get what you want. What you want exists within your own mind. You become conscious of a desire. It's a vision within your own consciousness. You have an idea of what you want, but now you want it to become a reality. How do we turn dreams into a reality? What would be your answer? Concentration keeps us on the right road, the road where our dreams reside. Surely, you have heard the saying, where there's a will, there's a way. But when you don't control your own willpower, it's easy to lose focus by allowing contradicting activities, memories, or ideas to take hold of you. Let's look at this differently. When you work on something, are you fully invested in the project itself? Or are you easily distracted by other ideas that might pop up in your mind? Or by what other people are saying or doing? Personally, when I work on something, let's say music or even this program, I completely forget time and space itself. It's like I'm temporarily not on Earth. Oh, you could see me working on something, but what exactly happens? My own mind is fully invested in the project I'm working on. The easiest way to achieve this form of intensity is by making sure you're working on something you really love to do. There's a very important point. When you work on stuff that you don't really care about, it's difficult to properly concentrate. So if you have trouble concentrating on your own goals, maybe you're not going for something you really want with all of your heart and soul. The battle we humans face is always fought in the mental realm. It's the battle between what we do want and what we don't want. For many people, it's a complete chaos within their minds, because they are constantly going back and forth between these two aspects. By developing and improving our ability to concentrate, we can learn to focus on what we do want. This also puts you in the position to make it easier to let go of anything that might be negative or contradicting to your dreams. It's only by this form of intensity that we can effectively realize our own dreams. When I look back on my own life, this was something I had to learn for myself. I studied the mind for many years, yet I still found myself acting negatively towards others or my own dreams, not acting the way I should in order to advance towards the realization of my dream, even though I knew better. What went wrong? My willpower wasn't applied in the right way, and because of that my mind wasn't fully aimed at what I truly wanted. When my mind is properly focused, my true desires are the only things that drive me. I would go back and forth between what I want and what I don't want, and this behavior would cause and can still cause a lot of conflict in my world. Some of it was so negative that for a long time I felt ashamed of my own behavior. But we all make mistakes. If your past is bothering you, I would love to help you. If you would learn to aim your willpower in the right direction, you can let go of the past. It's so important to consciously direct our willpower, to learn to focus on what we do want. Now the question remains, how do we develop our willpower? How do you develop your willpower? I've spoken to many people that suffer enormously because of what happened in the past. I myself was one of them too. I don't want to downplay anybody's suffering, but I do know as long as we don't learn to focus our minds in the right direction, the pain from the past will always take the upper hand. Where there is a will, there is a way. This doesn't mean that we should become cold-blooded. It simply means we develop the ability to keep our minds aimed at all things that make our individual lives worthwhile, positive, or giving us something truly worth living for. The fastest way to develop your willpower is to start now. Why delay what can bring you enormous benefit in this very moment? What I do in order to develop and strengthen my own willpower is to consciously take the time on a daily basis to focus on what I truly want to achieve. This may seem simple, but it's not always easy. Have you ever noticed that most people spend more time talking about stuff going on in the world around them instead of talking about their dreams and what they want to achieve? They know all too well the conflicts currently waging on our planet. But if we were to ask them what dreams they would love to achieve, they might be at a loss for words. This is proof that their willpower isn't aimed at what they want, but aimed at all the things going on around them. Listen carefully to most people. They talk more about what they don't want than about what they do want. The only way you can learn to think in terms of what you do want is by developing your willpower. We're talking about the sort of concentration that does not permit you to think about anything negative at all, and if you do, you can change it quickly. It's your dreams and desires that can positively improve your life, and we need the positive in order to make our lives worth living. And now this is good news. What I'm essentially telling you is that you already possess a strong will. The problem usually lies in us directing it at all the wrong stuff. That's why it's important to be honest with yourself. You have to know what you want in order for you to improve your life and get what you want. The moment you figure out what you truly want is also the moment you have to exercise your ability to concentrate. I can give you an example. I work on all sorts of creative goals in my own life, and it's pretty obvious I wouldn't be able to work on these projects effectively as long as my concentration goes all over the place. Going back and forth between current limitations and other negative aspects I might observe in my world. That's exactly what happened for many years. I knew what I wanted. I also knew I had to focus my attention on it, yet for some strange reason I never properly did. I would always go back to my old negative and limiting behavior, habit patterns that clearly weren't bringing me closer to the realization of my dream. It's something you have to become aware of in your own life. Do you know when you are concentrating in the right way and when you are concentrating in the wrong way? It might seem simple, but believe me, not a day goes by that we're not hypnotized by the physical world and our current circumstances. It's moments like that we also temporarily lose focus on the very things we do want. It's up to us to make sure that throughout our days, our concentration for the most part lies upon the things we want to achieve. If you currently find yourself facing circumstances you do not like, the only option open to you is to exercise your concentration and consciously aim it upon the things that do matter, your dreams. First, we want to discover what we want, and then we have to learn to focus our attention upon it morning, noon, and night. Maybe you're unable to keep yourself focused at first, but that's nothing to feel bad about. Your willpower is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. If you currently have a job that takes up most of your time, but you still dream of bigger things, how then can you get what you want? The answer lies in your ability to concentrate. During work hours, you might not be able to work on what you want, but you can always mentally embrace it and think about it. You can mentally look forward to the realization of this bigger dream. Then, whenever you are done working for the day, how much time do you actually spend working on your dreams? Here too, I have found people making a slight mistake. The time we spend watching television or anything else we do in order to kill time can also be used in order to work towards achieving your dreams in life. Again, it's a lack of concentration that causes us to waste time. When you strengthen your will, it will make you more effective each and every day whenever you think about what you aim to achieve. That form of concentration will then ultimately bring you renewed motivation and inspiration concerning the actions you should take so that your dreams can come true. I tell people all the time I don't just watch TV or anything else. If I watch movies or anything else, it's for very specific reasons. I want the things I observe to inspire me, or at least help me to get closer to my own dreams. How do you spend your time? This by no way means that you're not able to do things you enjoy doing. If you like watching TV, movies, series, whatever, go right ahead. But what we should never forget is the fact that many people spend almost all of their time in these activities, making sure there is no time available at all to work towards realizing their own dreams. So you can see this as a reminder to those people who know they want more out of life, yet they waste their time on petty activities. Sometimes people have told me they spend so much time on nonsense that they are shocked they are not getting closer to the realization of their dreams. Do you recognize this in your own life? If so, it's time to develop your willpower so it becomes aimed at what you do want. Why would you accept life as it is if you can improve it dramatically? Why settle for less when you can achieve more? The only reason we ever would accept this behavior is because we don't truly believe we can achieve what we want. If you don't believe you can achieve your dreams, why even make the effort? If I could give you the slightest glimpse of what would happen if you became totally possessed by your dreams, your life would never be the same again. Through the right use of your will, you would never let any day pass by without doing at least something that will get you closer to the realization of your dream. I think this is one of those things people deserve to hear. They deserve to know they are worthy. They deserve to know they do have the potential to achieve their own dreams. It's exactly what I'm trying to do for you as you're listening to this program. I can remember moments from my own life where I knew I was living in a way I did not want. What was I going to do about it? Physically, I might have been unable to do anything, but mentally, I could do a whole lot more. It's times like those where I would specifically think about my dreams. I would think about what it would mean if I were to make it come true. I would think about why I wanted it. My own desires started to become magnified because of it. When you go for what you really want, it becomes easy to stay concentrated. I can also remember times where I allowed current circumstances to run havoc in my mind, and what followed was a host of negative emotions. This is why it's so important for us to think about what we want and learn to identify ourselves with our dreams, so we start to think from the dream. We will always be confronted by negative events, stuff we can't fully control. People might say or do negative things. It's up to us to make sure our individual mentality stays positive. Nobody else can do it for us. Now you will discover that your ability to think about what you want depends upon the strength of your willpower. How strong is your will? Are you easily distracted by the stuff going on around you? Or is your mind guided by your imagination, by the things you truly want? Chapter 3. Willpower. As I explained in the chapter about willpower, it's easy to stay concentrated if you go for something you really want. The easiest method to develop your willpower and no longer let yourself be influenced by current limitations is by answering the following questions in as much detail as you can. Now, why do you want to achieve your dream? How would it improve your life? If you have a clear idea about what you want, the stronger your desire becomes. The stronger this desire, the easier it is to stay concentrated on what you want. Remember, concentrating on your dream also helps you to become conscious of the inspiration you receive. It's these inspired ideas that will guide you towards the right forms of action so you can get what you want. Now the second question is, how does a dream turn into reality? What would be your answer? Now the chapter gave you a hint on how this process works. Now let's summarize chapter 3. Did you know in many cases people are not operating from a vision? They live according to their senses. By using our will, we want to make sure we're living from a vision. This is a subtle process, but it creates a huge difference so far as our results are concerned. You can really measure this out for yourself. Are you living according to a vision? You can even look at your friends or family or other people in general. Are they really living according to a vision, or are they all living according to circumstances alone? And we're not doing this to mock these people or to mock you. You don't want to feel bad about it, but you want to become aware of the fact that this is the case. So if we want to improve our lives, we gotta build that vision and learn to concentrate our minds upon it.